everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm so glad you're joining me. I have a fun project to share with you using a new stamp set that arrived over the Pinkfresh Studio shop. It's part of their brand new release for January 2024. It's actually to celebrate this release, Pinkfresh Studio is having a blog hop and giveaway, so I hope you can join us. I'll leave a link down below for my blog, but also for Pinkfresh Studio, because I always think when you join a blog hop, starting at the beginning is always best, so you don't miss out on any of the inspiration. So I'll leave Pinkfresh Studio's blog down below too. I'm using the Best Wishes stamp set. This is a stamp set that has a coordinating die set, and then it also has a stencil that we're going to be using, but it also has a glimmer plate. So lots that go with this little collection called Best Wishes, and we're going to jump in and get started. In our stamp set we have just one floral image. I'm going to place that on my cardstock here. We'll flip it over, and you know, while I'm at it, I'm also going to stamp my greeting. I'm just going to place this right in the middle. Maybe we should flip it around. I think there's plenty of room to do double stamping here. This is one image, but the dies will cut out 4 different florals, which makes it really nice and convenient. I'm going to use my Pinkfresh Studio Detail Black ink to stamp my images, including my greeting. Go ahead and press these into our cardstock. Lovely. Okay. Now we're going to do some stenciling. So I have my grip mat here. We're just going to add our inked panel on here, and we'll start with stencil number 1. We're just going to line up our flowers. We'll tack this down, and then I'm going to use 2 different shades of inks for the flowers. For these ones I'm going to use yellows, and then for these ones we're going to use pinks. So we're going to start with our sparkling rose ink, and then I'm going to bring in my Pinkfresh Studio blending brushes. We're going to add some color over our florals here. I'm going to do the floral buds too. We're going to use our lightest yellow ink and go over our next floral. And then I am going to add, just highlight a few of these petals with the yellow. I love yellow and pink blended together, and just adding a little extra shading I think is going to work out great just for these flowers here. I'm going to use a towel and wipe away the ink from my stencil. For me, it's just easier to remove the ink while it's on my grip mat. Easier to clean too. That's stencil number 1. We're going to take our stencil number 2 and line this up. I'll tack this down, and now we're going to go in with our darker inks. We'll start with our yellow. I'm going to use Marigold, and we're going to go over our yellow flowers here. We're going to go in with bubble gum, and then these are going to go over our pink flowers. I love how vivid bubble gum is. And I want to take my bubble gum and add a little bit of color to my yellow flowers, kind of overlapping. It's going to create a real pretty orange. I'm going to wipe off my stencil, and then we're going to add stencil number 3. Look how gorgeous this is. Okay, stencil number 3 is the largest base layer of the leaves. For layer number 3, I'm going to be using my Ocean Breeze ink, and this is a blue. I thought we would go a little bit different with our leaves, and we're going to add some color here. So that's our leaves. And then we're going to take our third layer. We're going to line these up. We'll tack this down, and for the third layer I thought we'd go with a darker green, so we're using spruce tips. Okay, so that's all the colors that we're going to be adding today. We'll go ahead and clean off our stencil, and then we get to do the beautiful reveal. How pretty are these? I'm going to take our coordinating die set, and we're going to go ahead and die cut out our florals, along with our greeting. I love that there's coordinating dies for our greetings. I'll die cut these out and I will be right back. Everything is die cut out. We're going to put these off to the side and we're going to work on our background. For my background, we're going to start by die cutting out the Curvy Foliage die. We're just going to use white cardstock with this. So we have, I love the lacy look of this. We'll put this off to the side, and then we're going to create a frame. We're going to be using the stitched rectangles and also the nested arches. I'm going to take our largest rectangle and some white cardstock. I'm going to cut out a background with this, and then I'm going to use one of my arches, and I'm going to create a window right in the center. So we have a window for our background, and then I'm going to put this to the side. We're going to take another piece of white cardstock, and I want to create a white frame. So I'm going to bring back my nested arches, and using the same die that we used for the window, we're going to cut this out, but then I'm going to go with one larger, and I'm going to create a frame with this. I'm also going to take a piece of vellum, and I'm going to cut out a smaller window in this vellum. So we have quite a few arches. We're going to create quite a few layers. What we're going to do first is take this panel. I'm going to flip it over. We're going to use a tape runner. I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to trim off the sides. Okay, and then I'm going to tack this behind this existing window here. I think vellum just adds a nice softness to it. We're going to take our Curvy Foliage in our frame. I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. I'm going to tack this down to my Curvy Foliage. And then I'll add a little bit more adhesive. I'm going to take our frame and I'm just going to layer them together like so. After we have this done, I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to put some foam tape behind here. Now we're going to remove the release paper, and I'm going to put this off to the side. We're going to adhere this to an A2 panel of teal cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm actually going to take this and adhere this to the front of my card base. I'm just going to use my tape runner for this. Now this is going to go here, but I do want a little something behind the window. So I'm going to bringing in the diagonal plaid stencil. This is a 2-piece stencil set, but I'm just going to use stencil number 1. And I'm also going to bring in my Pinkfresh Studio Calico white ink. I'm just going to line this up. I'm going to add some ink to the stencil just in the center portion of this panel here. Okay, and I'm liking the way this looks. But what I'm going to do next is take the same stencil and I'm going to lower it just a little bit. And then I'm going to do it one more time so we get some of those squares in the middle here. We're going to do a little bit off to the side too. Okay. So we have a little bit of a pattern in the background. Now I'm going to take my archway here. We're going to tack this down to the center of our card base. Now we're going to take our Best Wishes florals. I'm not going to use the yellow today. We're just going to use these two pink ones. I'm going to use some foam tape. We're going to add it behind our floral here. I'll remove the release paper and then we are going to add these to the left of our card. I love how it kind of curves. You could actually go around the entire archway if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go off to one side today. I think that's a good spot. And then we're going to take our greeting. I'm just going to add adhesive over here on the, I'm going to take a thin strip of foam tape. We're just going to add this over the love. I'll remove the release paper and then I'll use my tape runner and then we will add this over our floral. And last but not least, we are going to add some sparkle. We're using the Iridescent clear drops and we're going to add a few around our image here. And that will finish off my card today. Have a lovely day. We will see you again soon. Bye-bye.